So today, Donald Trump unveiled the basics of his billionaire and corporate tax cut. And it's really important for you to understand the truth because you're going to hear a lot of spin from Republicans. The truth is that this version of the billionaire tax cut is so much worse than the version that Republicans passed during Donald Trump's first term. First of all, it's table scraps for poor people and middle-class folks. Like the first tax cut, this one is going to be skewed towards the very wealthy. The 2017 tax cut had a tax cut 852 times bigger for the top 1% as for lower income earners. The first tax cut was promised to deliver $4,000 in increased income for every American. A study showed that that number was not 4,000, it was zero. The first tax cut blew a giant hole in the deficit because all of the money that went to finance the tax cut for the wealthy was borrowed. And therein lies why this version of the tax cut is worse. It's still table scraps for the middle class and for poor people. The bulk of the tax cut still goes to the very, very wealthy. But this time, they're not borrowing the money to pay for the tax cut for the wealthy. This time, they're gutting your services. This time, they have laid out a plan, and they literally wrote it down, to cut Medicare by $479 billion. That's a big number, but this one's bigger. They're going to cut Medicaid by $2.3 trillion. They're going to cut the Affordable Care Act by $151 billion. Medicare, your parents, your grandparents' health care. Medicaid pays for 40% of births in this country. The Affordable Care Act insures 20 million working Americans. They're going to cut those programs so that they can give another tax cut that is 800 times more generous to the very wealthy than to the lowest income earners in this country. They're going to spin this as a tax cut for the middle class. That's not true. This is a tax cut for the wealthy, paid for by cuts to the middle class.